Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everybody. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to see you today for a video. And for this week's video, we're going to focus on vocabulary related to les objets du quotidien, meaning daily objects. So we're going to see all of the objects that we practically use on a daily basis, depending on the different contexts. But for today's video, we're mostly going to learn vocabulary. Les objets du quotidien, daily objects. Introduction, introduction. Objectif, that means goals. Les objets qu'on utilise tous les jours, meaning objects that we use every day. Thème, vocabulaire du quotidien, vocabulary of the daily basics. Objectif, goals, comprendre et nommer les objets autour de soi, meaning to understand and to name the objects around us. Okay, we're gonna do it in different categories. First one, à la maison, at the house. We have, of course, a lot of different objects, but we're mostly gonna focus today on the main ones. If you wanna say a table, une table. A chair, une chaise. A bed, un lit. A lamp, une lampe. Careful with the pronunciation. It's almost the same spelling, but when it comes to the pronunciation, we don't say lamp, we say lampe. A television, a TV, une télévision. A window is une fenêtre. A door, une porte. A carpet or a rug, we say un tapis. We don't pronounce the S, un tapis. A mirror is un miroir. And a clock, une horloge. Okay, when it comes to pronunciation, you may know it, but just a little reminder, when you have an S between two vowels, such as, for example, une chaise, a chair, a TV, télévision, you see that here I have my S between two vowels. I'm going to make it as a Z sound. Let's read them one more time together and always pay attention to the gender of your noun. So when you learn a new vocabulary, for example, if there's some words here that you're not comfortable with, that you're learning, always learn them with the little pronoun in front so you know the gender of that noun, because the gender is never going to change and you need to know the gender. Une table, une chaise, un lit, don't pronounce the T, une lampe, une télévision, une fenêtre, une porte, un tapis, un miroir, and I pronounce my last R, un miroir, une horloge. And the H is mute. Okay, this is for the house, la maison. Now let's see the personal items, personal objects. A phone, un téléphone. A computer, un ordinateur. And you see the way I pronounce the word is because I always need to have my pronoun, which is either un or une, depending on the gender. If my word starts with a vowel, I'm just going to connect it and pronounce it straight away. Un ordinateur. I'm not going to try to dissociate those two by saying un ordinateur. The goal is to link it as much as possible. Un ordinateur. A pen is un stylo, not stylo, stylo. A pencil, un crayon, crayon. And I need to hear the y, crayon. A notebook, un cahier, cahier. A bag, un sac. I pronounce my C, un sac. To say keys, des clés. Des clés, glasses, des lunettes. A watch, une montre. A wallet, un portefeuille. Portefeuille. And same, I need to hear my y, portefeuille. And to say earphones or earbuds, des écouteurs. Same thing, I try to connect. Every time you have a word with a vowel, you always take the last consonant that is just before that vowel and you link it. Des écouteurs. When I link it, for example, here I'm going to link it with the S because I have des. The S is always going to be pronounced like a Z sound. Des écouteurs. And I don't pronounce my final S. It's just to show that it's plural, but it's always mute. Okay, let's read them one more time. Un téléphone. Un ordinateur, un stylo, un crayon, un cahier. ER from cahier makes the A sound. Un cahier, un sac, des clés, des lunettes, une montre, un portefeuille, des écouteurs. If you struggle, you can always try to practice that at home. And if you want, you can try to rehearse yourself, try to record yourself, and you can send your pronunciation to us on our Instagram page, French Language Solution. We'll be happy to correct you and see if you're doing well. Ensuite, les objets d'hygiène, hygiene objects, les objets d'hygiène. A toothbrush, une brosse à dents, brosse à dents. Brosse means brush, dent means teeth. Donc, it's a brush for the teeth. Une brosse à dents, toothbrush. Toothpaste, du dentifrice. So you keep the same base, dent, which is teeth, and you had ifrice. Dentifrice, toothpaste. A comb, un peigne, peigne. Same thing, I need to hear the ñ, peigne. A towel, une serviette. Soap, du savon. Shampoo, un shampoing. Shampoing, and I don't pronounce the last letter. Un shampoing. Shower gel, du gel douche. Douche means shower, so it's like a gel for the shower. Du gel douche. And a hairbrush, une brosse à cheveux. So you see that here is the same construction as a toothbrush. If you want to say a hairbrush, it's literally a brush for the hair. Donc, a brush, une brosse. Hair is cheveux. Une brosse à cheveux, a hairbrush. Let's read them one more time. Une brosse à dents, du dentifrice, un peigne, une serviette, du savon, un shampoing, du gel douche, une brosse à cheveux. Okay, pretty much it for les objets d'hygiène. Now, dans la cuisine, in the kitchen, what do we have? We can have a glass, un verre, a cup, une tasse, a plate, une assiette, and I connect, I have my vowel. Une assiette, a fork is une fourchette, a knife, un couteau. Donc careful, une fourchette is feminine, un couteau is masculine. A spoon, une cuillère. Same, y sound, cuillère. A pot, une casserole. So you see that here, the way that it's written is casserole. The E that has no accent, no nothing, in the middle of a word is the E sound, casserole. But if you want to sound more natural when you say it, we tend to not skip it, but pronounce it just slightly. So instead of saying casserole, we tend to say casserole. Casserole. So you hear it, but very slightly. A frying pan, une poêle. This one, it depends on where you're from, because I feel like sometimes, even in France, depending on if you're from the north, the south, east, or west, we might have a little change in the accent. So it's either une poêle or une poêle. It depends. I say poêle, but if you say poêle with more like a sound, poêle, it's good too. Poêle or poêle. A refrigerator or a fridge, un réfrigérateur. For those who are more comfortable, we tend to say frigo. Frigo is just the short way to say réfrigérateur, because we might consider it a little long. So if you want to cut it short, un frigo or réfrigérateur. And to say a stove, une cuisinière. So careful, cuisine. Finishing with the E like the title is a kitchen, but a stove, cuisinière. Okay, let's read them one more time. Un verre, une tasse, une assiette, une fourchette, un couteau, une cuillère, une casserole, une poêle ou une poêle, un réfrigérateur ou un frigo, une cuisinière. This is pretty simple, but here, careful, this is why I'm telling you that it's super important to always know the gender of your noun, because we tend to say when the word finishes with the E, such as tasse, assiette, fourchette, cuillère, casserole, they're feminine, because E is the letter of feminine. But when you look at glass, glass is verre, finishing with the E, it's masculine, because I have un, that means a for the masculine. So even if it finishes with the E, it tends to be masculine, and it happens for a couple of other words. So when you learn a verb or a word, always learn it with the gender. Okay, that's pretty much it for the kitchen. Now, à l'école. L'école, at school. What objects do we use at school? Of course, a book. A book, un livre. Masculine and finishing with the E. So keep in mind that it's masculine. Un livre. To say a pencil case. Une trousse. An eraser. Une gomme. A ruler. Une règle. Règle is the same word as a rule. So if you want to say like a rule that you need to follow, or a ruler, une règle. To say a sheet, une feuille. Same, I need to hear my y sound. Une feuille. A desk, un bureau. And if you're familiar with French, you know that bureau can also mean an office. So a desk or an office is un bureau. A chair, we saw it, une chaise, the sound. And a backpack, un sac à dos. If you remember what is sac, we saw it, sac is a bag. Dos means the back. So to say a backpack, we literally say a bag for the back. Un sac à dos, a backpack. Okay, one more time together, and you can always try to pronounce it with me. Un livre, une trousse, une gomme, une règle, une feuille, un bureau, une chaise, un sac à dos. And I connect, sac à dos, like if just one word. Okay, that's it for the school, à l'école. Now, autre objet utile. Of course, we have some categories, but we have other useful objects. For example, a USB key / a flash drive, we're going to say une clé, which is the key, USB. So careful, we're not going to say une clé USB, it's une clé USB. To say a remote control, une télécommande. Donc télé for TV, commande, télécommande. A charger, pretty much similar, un chargeur. So we put the U in between. Un chargeur. A card, une carte. An umbrella, un parapluie. Parapluie. Pluie means rain. Donc parapluie for the rain. A lighter, un briquet. ET makes the E sound same as the ER. Donc a lighter, un briquet. A ballpoint pen, un stylo à billes. A small notebook, un carnet. So here we have the difference between the notebook that we saw earlier related to the school one. The big one is cahier. The small one, when you just write tiny little words, is un carnet. And then a keychain, un porte-clés. Porte means to hold, clé the keys. Donc to hold the keys, keychain, un porte-clés. Let's read them one more time. Une clé USB. Une télécommande, un chargeur, une carte, un parapluie, un briquet, un stylo à billes, and billes, same, y sound, à billes, un carnet, un porte-clés. Okay, that's pretty much it for today's video. When it comes to vocabulary, if you know those ones, you know the main ones depending on the different topics. But of course, if you have more to say, more words that you want to learn, and you don't know really the translation in English, feel free to ask us. We're going to be happy to help you. If you want to practice, I wrote you a little exercise. So here you have 7 different phrases. We're missing the words. We're missing the vocabulary to complete the phrases. So I would like you to choose a word that is in this video and for it to make sense. So we're just going to read them together and I want you to try to find the missing word. 1. Je bois dans un. 2. J'écris avec un. 3. Pour dormir, j'ai un. 4. Pour regarder l'heure, j'ai une. 5. Je mange avec une et un. 6. Je me lave avec du et une. Et le 7. À l'école, j'ai un pour mes affaires. If you're not comfortable with affaires, it just means stuff. So at school, I have a for my stuff, to put my stuff in. Okay. If you have any question, feel free to reach to us here. If you struggle a little bit, don't forget to always try to look at the pronoun. It's going to give you a little clue. So if you see that it's un, we want to have a masculine word. If we have une, we're looking for something feminine. So feel free to always go back on the previous slides. If you struggle, it's fine. Just try to write what you think is good. And if you want to have a little correction or a little help, you can always either write it down in the comment section or on our Instagram page. And that's it for today's video. I hope that you liked it, that you learned some new vocabulary. Don't hesitate to always subscribe to the channel because we do videos every week. And if you want to learn more, you can always subscribe to our either YouTube channel or on Instagram. We do daily content, so it's pretty good if you're in your French journey. And I'm wishing you all a good end of your day and a good weekend. Salut!